All right, guys, for this last one, we're going to go ahead and read this section here about this last paragraph, objectives, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing for this lab. So let's start here. In this laboratory activity, you'll work with different tools that will serve to model finch beaks. The seeds provided represent finch food on a particular island. You'll compete with other finch species to see which beak is adapted best for attaining specific food. So you guys are going to pretend to be finches, and your tools that you get, so maybe a pair of chopsticks, maybe a binder clip, maybe a spoon, maybe a fork, those are going to be your beaks. And your goal is to pick up seeds out of the big container and put them in the little container. The little container is your belly. Don't actually eat the seeds. We're going to talk about that on the next slide. So you can only pick up one seed at a time using your tool and put it in your belly, and you're going to compete with everybody else on your island to see who can or who's going to get the most, who's going to survive to the next round, basically is what we're doing. So let's go ahead and read the objectives and see exactly what you're supposed to be learning. In this laboratory activity, you will learn how structural differences may affect the survival rate of members within a species. So how different beaks are going to affect who can live on which islands with what kind of food. Simulate competition for resources among different species of organisms. So maybe there are two birds, two finches with different beaks, but they both can eat the same amount of food. How's that going to impact them if they're both living on the same island? And finally, see the role of the environment as a selecting agent. So we talked about on a couple slides back selecting agents. So exactly what does that mean? We're going to explore that a little bit further in this lab. So the question for this slide is a little bit different. So I'm asking you, what is competition? I talked about it a couple of times, and maybe you've heard it around before, maybe not related to birds, but you definitely have heard the word competition before. So I want you to think about what you know about the word competition and what you know about animals and populations and figure out how they're connected. So what is competition in relation to this lab and to birds in environments?